So you've captured a mist. I've also heard about the flashes of light. Do you capture that very often?
You know, in regards to the flashes of light, a lot of times you can find rational explanations of a lot of the stuff. In regards to orbs too, as well. You know, you hear a lot of paranormal things talk about the orbs and the balls of light. And a lot of times it could be dust particles. It could be insects. It could be a lot of things. And a lot of things you want to look for. If you actually do see an orb, a lot of times you can trace it with a camera or a video camera. And a lot of times it could manifest into something. But you know, one of the things I tell everybody is, when you're working a private case and somebody captures something on a photo, you can give them a rational explanation, but you say, you know what, if you believe this is something else, you know, I'm not going to tell you differently. I can give you my opinion, but you believe what you believe.
What is the proportion of encounters or investigations that do turn out to have something to them? And what's the other percentage that is just a rational explanation?
Well, you know, a lot of times, anytime there's some truth in a little bit of everything. When it comes to a lot of the private home cases and stuff, normally it's some truth to it somewhere. You know, whether it's some type of oppression, some type of negative energy. You know, it always comes back to energy. You know, sometimes you have a couple, somebody arguing, fuss and fight, and you come into that room and you feel that heaviness. You know, in my theories and some of my belief system, earthbound spirits goes where the vibrations are. And a lot of times when you have anybody that's dealing with any type of oppression, alcoholism, any type of problems, they feed off that vibration. And another one of my theories out there that I'm a firm believer in, you know, earthbound spirits can be found anywhere. Hospitals, doctors' offices, airports, anywhere you got the fear vibration. Bars where you got the drinking and stuff. They go off that and they feed off that because they need that life force on those vibrations, and that's what's happening. And there's a lot of theories out there why paranormal activity is growing and why you want more and more earthbound spirits.
What do you normally find in churches?
Well, you know, we actually investigated a church one time, and it was a cool case. The church was built in the 1830s, and they actually have the slave galleries, everything come up, and they actually kept it as authentic as possible. But the back part of the church was added on in the 20s, and the pastor and his secretary kept hearing doors open and close. Somebody walked by. The audio stuff upstairs in the balcony kept getting unplugged, and we went and investigated it. And it was actually, we did have caught some pretty interesting evidence, and actually did come in contact with a male presence there. And after we said, you know, there's got to be something more to it, and come to find out there was some internal problems with the church, and the guy they found out what it was actually an old deacon there that actually took part of getting that back edge of the church built on.
Part of the history.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you normally investigate at night or in the daytime?
You know, a lot of times we do the investigations at night, but it really doesn't matter. A lot of times it depends on when the activity's seen. A lot of the people are having experiences during the daytime. That's when we try to go in to do the investigation. And to thoroughly investigate somewhere, you know, you watch Ghost Hunters, a lot of the TV shows, and they come in that night. But to truly research a place, you've got to try to come more than one time and try it in the daytime, try it at night, try it during thunderstorms, try it during full moons, and try it every aspect that you can to really see when you can have different activities and what type of evidence you can capture.
I'm going to call out a list of some of the places you've been in our coverage area with Southern paranormal researchers and find out which you think has the most presence of spirits, or whatever you call them. Enterprise, New Brockton, Tallahassee, Selma and Old Cahaba, Clanton we talked about, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, Eufaula, Montgomery.
Wow, you know, me being from Montgomery, I think Montgomery tops right up there, but to me, Selma's one everybody talks about, and we've really been blessed and have an opportunity to investigate a lot of places in Selma, from the St. James Hotel, Smitherman Museum, the old train depot, an old church out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. We've investigated tons of places, several private homes, and Selma's one of those cities and stuff where history kind of lives within, and a lot of people kind of hold that energy there, and Selma's one of the most active places around here, next to Montgomery.
If a skeptical person asks you, how would you prove that this is paranormal, what would you say to them?
Well, you know, I don't think I really owe it to them to prove it. I think there's too many people out there having experiences, and I think if someone don't believe in it and don't have any experiences, to keep it that way. You know, that's the best thing out there. I think more and more people are starting to have their experiences starting to grow, and the only thing we can do is tell you what we can find and what we think in some of our belief systems. And one of the things about this field is that we're all learning. There's no such thing as an expert. We're all in this to learn, and the more we learn, the more we don't know. And it's a growth process, and that's something that's what's great about this field. And to me, too, another thing is the people you meet and the stories you hear and, you know, experiences they've had. That kind of adds to this wonderful thing that we're doing.
Again, Southern history.
Yes, ma'am.
Last question. When you do an investigation, most often do you find negative energy or positive energy?
You know, it depends. You know, one of the big things that we do in a lot of the traveling is some of the private homes. And, you know, a lot of the reports, the dark cases are starting to grow. And some of the cases are absolutely just kind of out there. A lot of those reports are starting to come more and more every day. And I'm definitely seeing a rise in a lot of the negative stuff.
Does it scare you?
Absolutely. I think just anybody in this field, you know, you have a belief system, and once you get started doing this and you really start having new experiences, your worldview and your spiritual view changes. And that's one of the things about this field is everything about your beliefs. Is no matter where you start in this field, once you begin, your belief system is going to be changed because of some of the things you experience and what's really out there. As I'm started to do what I do in a lot of the work that I do energy-wise and receiving, it's been a process that I had when I was a kid and a teenager, and I kind of got away from it, but it never really went away. And it was a slow process building back up, and while you build it back up, it's just as important to learn to protect yourself. And we was in the old Jasper Center in Northport, Alabama, and we was doing an investigation. It's one of those places when you start walking down that road, you can feel the energy. And we started the investigation, and one of the things that I can't always feel and pick up on, it kind of freaks me out today, is the shadow figures. And there's different forms of shadows. I'm talking about the hardcore dark shadow men that's been reported so much. And the old Jasper Center is famous for them. We was in the third floor in the back part, and we start to move, and actually I saw the shadow move. And the first thing I assumed it was somebody upstairs with us. That, you know, it's out in the middle of the place, somebody snuck in. And as we moved forward, I had James Kirkley was behind me with a camera. It wasn't anything there, and before I knew it, the shadow figure moved forward and it thumped me it knocked me down. It hit me on the head and knocked me backwards. It knocked me into James, and James pretty much caught me, and James fell back into David. And once I collected myself, I didn't have any barriers. I couldn't control my energy, and I was absolutely shot. And one of the things was, as I received, I couldn't have no process. I was kind of being overwhelmed with a lot of the energy and a lot of things that was there. Shawn? Yeah.
Is there a breeze over here at all?
These right here, what?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh!
What?
Y'all are not outside?
Somebody's up here.
Hey, somebody's up here with us.
That's her.
I hear a bell ring.
Oh,
Take them stairs.
hey, we need to stop. Let me call. Let's play it.
Shawn, come down this way.
Somebody took a blow at me.
They're right here. This goes to the outside.
This is what he did.
What?
Did somebody else see that light flashing outside?
Yeah, and it was coming. Y'all need to get out of the building. Yeah.
Get out of the
building now. Get everybody out of the building.
Cut those two and keep.
Doesn't matter. I got no light.
You got a light. Cut y'all off, then I guess. There he is. That's a person. Somebody. Right there. Cut you out.
No, we're not.
Surrounded.
We're surrounded up here on the second floor. Get all them girls out of the front.
Get a visual, and from
Who
that point
are
on,
you?
it looked like
It's in the game. Move. Who are you?
he turned in to hit me.
Yeah, he went like this.
Yeah.
And then he stopped, and then all of a sudden we saw the lights. So he went like this, and he took off running that way. Now,
I saw lights
I
going
thought-
like this.
It's a black male, about this tall. Looked just like James, so he's...
Whoa. Did anybody else see that light just go right across there?
Nope.
Radio. See if they're flashing lights in.
No, they wouldn't have got
Hey,
that.
Greg, y'all ain't flashing any lights.
Because this is a hallway in. They're not going to...
And to me, that was one of the first times that kind of made me stand up and really take a more serious approach to what we're doing. I always take it when we do the darker cases in the private homes, but when we do those type of investigations, it's pretty much let me to always have my guard up and really start honing my skills with the work I do with some of the energy stuff. And that's the one case that kind of stands out to me because you can feel history as you walk down the road, and once you get inside of it, it's an unbelievable place. It comes alive.
Do you have a website for people to find out more information?
We do. You can check out southernparanormalresearchers.org or ShawnSellers.com.
All right. Thanks for being our
Thank you
guest
very
today.
much.
Shawn Sellers, by profession, is an insurance adjuster, and he is founder of Southern Paranormal Researchers.